launch lab. Right, hello everybody, episode 10, PT Launch Lab. We've got two massive topics to cover today. We've got the reason and decision behind shutting down the Ultimate Shred, and also
we're going to cover a topic today which is very important, which is why PTs usually quit after the first 2-year mark.
Right, we'll start off. A little catch up for Callum. How's things been going?
Been going good, mate. In fact, I did what I said randomly at the weekend. This just happened. So I went out for a few beers on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, like you get married. And you know, Chris, he messaged me randomly. Oh, it says, I've got a spot on the Great North Run on the 7th of September if you want to do it. You know. So, 7th of September. Yeah. I'm just about to put the...
Does it twice?
So I'm really into it. And then, you know.
So it's not course.
You know what it is?
No way, bro.
It's
Short 5K time.
like saying it was fucking 3K. But the thing is, I'm going to do it because I like being put in hard situations. I think it brings out the best in you. And it opened up like a new train of thought for me. So obviously, we spoke many times before. I've been looking for something to ignite players.
Yeah, cool.
So what I'm going to look for, I'm going to throw myself at this. I'm going to try and look for a challenge every month or every bi-month.
Yeah, man.
And just sign up for it. Because I think for a lot of people like myself and out there, when you get involved in business and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, you sort of forget to really challenge yourself. So I've stuck it on. I'm ready for it. I'm not actually. I'm mentally ready.
Sorry, mate. That's exactly what I did. When I come back from injury, I just wanted to do. I did the half marathon my first run back after breaking my leg, so no pressure. You'll definitely beat that time. I remember doing that. I got to one of my mates' pies at his new house, like a housewarming thing. And I told him then that I'd been planning on doing this half marathon the first of January. I wanted to do it New Year's Day, make sure I got it in. I got to this bike, I must have not run it. Well, 7 o'clock at night. I remember checking my Garmin, watching it at 7% for my battery left. And I think it was -3 when I run it. And I think I was ill for 2 weeks after. Just really killed myself and the legs are dead. Obviously, coming back off, snapping my leg in half and then running. Not the first time, but slow run. I'm not going to be relieving those Stravas.
See, what you've done now is you've made sure that I've got to complete that. Good time. Yeah, did one for sorry, oh man. Yeah. Good luck.
Hops inside distance. And then just for me, Cal, obviously the same old for me. Nothing's changed. I've been hard in training. I'm 2 weeks out from the fight now, 3 weeks out from the massive tournament. Weight's on good, as you can see. My face has absolutely disappeared. But I feel great. It's probably the best I've ever felt. Camp-wise, healthy-wise, weight-wise.
You seem locked in.
What I used to do is I used to have like a cheat meal. I don't like that word anymore, but I used to do that, and I used to tell myself it was for morale. And then it keeps surprising your body, shocking your body. We know they're all myths, but it's sort of what I've got to tell yourself to keep going and keep progressing during the camp. And you're like, oh, well, I'll eat this. And then by Wednesday, I'll be even lower and I'll keep shocking my body, even though there's only about 3 days there between having that cheat. And this time I've just stayed fully, not having anything outside of my plan. I've literally stuck to it 100%. And I think it's made it so much easier. Like it's just built a constant habit and routine of what I'm meant to be doing, rather than every time I get to the weekend, then it made all the rest of the week hard. So, it's a bit of a sweet fan, me. Like, I like old school jellies and stuff like that, or like bags of crisps and stuff. Were just a bit strange like that. But when I have them, then I want it for the next few days.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, yes. And then I'm like, really, really struggled on the day. I thought like the next 2 or 3 days after that. But this time I'm just not bothered.
I think it's the dopamine thing, because when you're on a hard diet like that and then you allow yourself to have those little treats, your brain gets this like fixation, right? But you did it and you're fine. It's one of those, you lead yourself into those security moments. You're like, oh, well, like that, I'm still on weight, so I could do it.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know, I think I've gone different with it. Morale this time, the more locked in I've been, the more rewarding it's felt, and the more I feel like I should win. You know, like, and I'm way too close now to be taking any risks anyway. 2 weeks out, my weight was like plateauing a little bit. You know, a bit worried. You know, like I think I stayed the same weight for 3 weeks, but I look completely different. And that's where I normally have a bit of a refeed, get some energy back in, and then go again. But I just felt like I was just too close. I decided against it, and I weighed myself next day, and I'd lost like 2 kilograms, which is... I say this all the time. Like, the only time when you feel like quitting most, or not quitting most in that sense, but the time when you feel like maybe it's time to make a change on this or that, when you stick it out, then it just shows that the consistency over time. Then it was just right last bit. I think my body were like, it's got to be another weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that type of dieting anyway, especially because you're active as well. Because your activity tends to go up while your food's still coming down. So your body's like in a state of shock, going, well, you're not giving me more. Asking for more. It's, you know, it's nice to see you so locked in, because I think I've seen you do it quite a few times. And this time does feel different because obviously you're doing it with a family at home as well. So having to balance that and not go insane. I think you're doing pretty well. Unless that seems...
Got to put a mask on when I'm coming in. No, but in all seriousness, I feel I've got a really good balance of... I've been booking 1 day a week out to do something with the kids during summer holidays. I think that alone, and then my weekends, I've never really been overbooking things over the weekend, which is a massive first for me. Like, I'll usually just work every day, like back to back months on end. And with the training, because I'm training so hard as well, and on the night, like I usually get bored on the night. That's when I'll do my eating, or feel like I want to do something, or I get a bit like ADHD riddled, where I'm like, great, what can I do now? Everyone's gone to bed, and that's when I get my energy. It's when I just finish work. But because I'm so tired from the training, I look forward to a good night's sleep, because I think, right, well, I've got another hard session in the morning. I need full energy for it. So I think it's all falling into place. Like, I've got match up for the first fight and all as well now on the 6th of September. So I'm excited. It's the last big week of training now. So hopefully we'll get one more podcast in next week. And then after that, I'll be telling you how good my win was. Well, I think, that's it for my catch-ups anyway. I'll not bore anyone too much with the fight stuff. But the big important thing, I've just done a quick little video. Obviously, everyone has seen it at this point when this is released, but I decided to shut the Ultimate Shred down in 10 years. So the reason why I've decided to shut it down, obviously, it's come a long way from when I used to do it. I used to literally do it on pen and paper. I used to go weigh people in, take all the photos. I used to have thousands of photos in my album, and I had all the before ones, and then I can remember after the fight, and it was 5 weeks at this point, after the 5 weeks, then I'd have to try and find this person. And because the pictures were so small, because I obviously had that many photos, and then I've done like templates, and you had to match them all up. It took me, honestly, it must have took me hours to get the before and after pictures, because the finishing rate, that them were like 90%. And I'd have over 100 sign-ups. And half the people I didn't even know, they'd come in 1 week. So obviously, they're quite bigger set at this point. They've got glasses on, they've got a big long t-shirt on, trying to cover up what really that they're not happy with. And then at the end they come in, they've got the lycra stuff on with no glasses, hair completely different, all done for photos, and you couldn't even recognize them. So it was just so difficult. I can remember putting them on, and someone said it's not even me. So anyway, I've come from these points and all these amazing memories that I've absolutely loved. It's gone all over the world. I changed it to online during lockdown. that was April or May 2020 when I started online. Some of the best years of the company then. I had a little bit of a fallout with a business partner, which again moved all from that. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's just come to a point now. No, I don't love it anymore. The passion is going somewhere else. I've done it for 10 years. I feel like I've put everything into it. I've got it to a brilliant point. I'd love to just leave on top. I feel like we're not giving it the credit it deserves towards the back end now. And I've always been one of them. We spoke about it a million times just on this podcast alone. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. And as much as that company's like a baby to me, like the amount of hours that people, that unseen hours behind closed doors, is absolutely unbelievable. Like if I could put all them into a chart, I think people would be absolutely shocked at the amount of time and free work I put into it to get it to where it is today. But I just feel like leave it on top now. 10 years is a good mark. I've got my own boxing. I've got the boxing team, the PT launch lab and the courses. And I think that's where I want to go now. I want to be able to show people how they can do it as well. So I feel like I want to take that step forward. It's not a step back. No way. It's I've done the PT bit. I've done the online coaching bit. What I want to do now is help other people. Yeah. I don't know. I think we all get, when we get older, that's the sort of way we want to do. We want to give back. And I think that's just where the passion is now. I feel like I've done all that bit. I've done the recruitment bit. I've done all of that. I've put my years in the gym. And I just feel like it's come to a point now where I'd like to just pass the advice on and do this. I enjoy it. Like running those short competitions, you need time. You need a lot of time. People need your 100% dedication and focus. If you want to do well in that, you've got to be on call on that tap. Like we spoke about with AI, like you've got to be ready to answer people. Boom, boom, boom. As the messages come in, you need to be ready to help them, because that could be the difference with them falling off the planet or staying on it. Is you just answering. There is no time. Everyone works different shifts. People get off work at different times. You'll get a message at 11 o'clock, and that's when someone's finished, saying, what can I have? And they're panicking. And what they can do if you don't answer, I'm just not doing it. And it's an excuse and it's a way out. And sometimes they don't need the door holding open for them. They're already halfway out of it. So because I can't commit that much anymore in that sense as well, like I just can't with the kids and everything. They are the priority now, whereas before my work was always my priority and building this massive brand. So that's ultimately what it's come down to, is I want to be able to give everyone the attention they deserve. And I also want to give back, give the advice and show the people what they need to be doing. And like I've just said, being able to direct them and say, right, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you can't do. You can't have these hours off. If you want to make it big, this is how it's got to do. And I just want to write a little bit of a blueprint for it. And that's why we're doing the 0 to 5K plan on the PT launch lab as well. So I think it's all going to tie in, hopefully. But I'm obviously a bit devastated. But the last one's going to be the 6th of September. Anyone still wanting to do it, I'd love to go out with a bang and make it one of the biggest ones yet. Give it a good send-off. Well-deserved farewell for over this last 10 years.
Yeah, and please as well, obviously we'll see little clips of these posts going out. If you've done this shred before, if you've had a transformation, please reshare it. Show everybody what you did, what you achieved. If you're taking the next one, just show your experience, show your love for it, because I know, especially just living in the local area, so many people did it, so many people loved it, so many got so much out of it. So as this is the last one, please just show your appreciation. Tag the page in it, message Ryan, let him know that you appreciate what the Ultimate Shred did for you.
No, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. End of an era. Some brilliant memories, like I said. So thank you, everybody. I love that idea, Callum. Thank you very much, mate. Well, let's move on to the fun.
So what we are going to cover in the educational topic today is the 2-year quitting period. So PTs, there's an 8% thing of PTs out there after the first 2 years of starting.
8%.
They quit after 2 years. And it can be a little bit of a sobering statistic in the sense that, yeah, that That's a big number of people that fail. And this is just focusing on the PT, but you can sort of marginalize it towards a lot of businesses. Like a lot of people do quit after the first couple of years because it might not have picked up traction that they wanted, or maybe, for instance, I don't know, some hard financial times coming the way and they didn't plan for that. And
Does this statistic, is that going to PT? Is that going to a different pathway industry then, or is that just completely quitting the industry?
just completely quitting the industry. So this is just in the UK alone. So it's just in the first 2 years, and this worked for self-employed and employed. A lot of the times, obviously, it comes down to financial struggles, underestimating taxes, inconsistent income, undercharging clients, which we've covered before. You know, poor marketing, client acquisition, and burnout. Generally burnout, because obviously we talk about this all the time. The amount of time that you'll spend working as a PT, especially in the early days. You know, the fun thing is when people say, "Oh, when you're self-employed, you get to dictate your own hours." When you're self-employed, all the hours are your hours to work, because you have this crippling anxiety of, if I'm not working, what's the point of doing this? And, you know, you don't get sick pay, annual leave, you don't get a pension plan. You're in charge of every single bit of income that comes through that door. So I can understand quite heavily if you're not prepared to understand what it's like building a business from scratch, how motivating it's going to be to do those endless hours. And in the early days with underpaying clients, yeah, it can deter you.
And I feel like the business skills is massive. Like, as you move along and you get more clients, you have to get new skills. So what I mean, like taxes, massive, for example. Like one, like the ultimate shred, it scaled enormously when we went online. And we like weren't really ready for the tax then. We thought, well, like getting master money, that's what it felt like. It was just like, we've made it. This is ace. Pay us all this money. We've done it. This is it forever. And then all of a sudden, obviously, when lockdown finishes and things start slowing down, and that tax is still there to be paid, there's VAT on everything. Like, it's sometimes you learn the hard way, unfortunately, and that's why we're doing this podcast, and hopefully just tell people it doesn't matter how much you're making, make sure you've got an accountant set in place, and you've got a plan to do with your finances, because everything that comes in is not actually your money.
Yeah.
Especially not in the UK.
I mean, if I could do it the opposite way around, because obviously everybody goes into a business with the notion of the idea that we're going to make as much money as we can.
Yeah.
If you go into it, I work out how much you need to live. Then, you know, that little bit extra to have a bit of pot to have a life. Work out how much you need as a minimum, to how many clients you need, how many hours you need to work to pay those bills, to make sure you save. And then the rest of the time, you can focus on the scaling part, because we've been working with a few members of the PT Launch Lab. One in particular, I think we're seeing next week. He started a run club in the local area, and he works endless hours all the time, and he's trying to find a way to start his business without affecting his current income. So, well, natural way to do it is online. He's already getting attention. So as well, why don't you start exposing yourself using a coaching app, for instance, and bringing people on online? As you can scale down more your workplace and take less hours there, put them into there. Because what everyone's worried about, just for my personal preference, is they don't feel like they're going to be able to do enough or know enough or learn enough in the beginning to be able to make a start. Because someone's coming from an employment background, they think, well, if I can't do it full time, what's the point? I'd say a good 45-50% of personal training start with a little.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, depending on your responsibilities, depending on your situation that way, whether you can actually step out of that job or not, I feel like I've seen success with people who already have a job and then do it on the side, and then obviously get rid of the safety net, and then they go full self-employed with a PT. I've seen that work. High demand. That's the reason why they did it. I've also seen people try and stay and keep the safety net, and then it actually holds the business back because they can't cover the hours, and they can't meet the demand of the people that are actually wanting to, and then all of a sudden the business becomes stagnant, and then they almost close the gate on actually being able to move into that self-employed thing. So he's trying to time that right. He's trying to make the decision, make it at the right time, making sure that it's not going to put you into financial difficulty, depending on where you are in your life. But
I think that'll be a little bit ballsy.
100%. There's always a risk when you're self-employed. There's always a risk, especially if you've never been self-employed before. The stress that comes with it can be like monumental for him if you're not used to it.
And the thing is, the reason why you want to do this is because obviously you might be sick of what you're already doing. Maybe it's not fulfilling you. So if you look at the average and you say, well, if I stay where I am, nothing's going to change. I'm going to be unhappy still. Whereas if I take this risk, the very worst case is that you have to pick up the hours back at your old job. The very worst case, you stay exactly the same as you were, which I don't think is a bad risk. Now, don't get me wrong, you freshly qualify, you go, right, quitting my job, mortgage will be fine, jump in, got a month's worth of wages saved. That can be difficult because you haven't put any time in. And I'd say to every single PT, I think you say it as well, says you only get better by doing it.
Yeah.
Don't start fresh and think this is it.
And sometimes you perform better when your back's against the wall than you think when you have to go out and get it. And I think if you've already got financial security with your job and you want to expand this and go into self-employed, build your own safety net.
Yeah.
I think that would be my main bit of advice. For if you've got money coming in, whether it's going to take you a year or 2 years, put a little bit to the side. That's going to cover you for, I don't know, let's say 6 months. Maybe that's, in this day and age, might be a bit of a push. But for me, the PT money is a bonus right now. You can live off the other money. Anything you make from PT goes into a pot. When you're ready to make that move, then I've already got a little bit of a wage, of a safety net, just like the wage you've been getting. Maybe a little bit less. Still give you that little bit extra motivation there to push, because if I don't start getting work fast, that money's going to run out and it's all on me. So I feel like the best way would be make a decision, make an amount that you're willing to work from, take the risk from, and just keep putting into it. Then don't rush it. So you want to get one, I think you get one big chance at this to really, really give it a go. So make sure it's realistic. It's the amount you want. Don't cut it short. Whether it takes you 6 months of isolation, just hammering work, coming home.
Yeah, so maybe some good tips if you're worried about stuff like this and you're getting into the industry and you're in employment. I would personally say maybe look into getting a pool of referrals first. So you've got people that you work with, you've got family and you've got friends. Try and get them on board, do some sessions with them, run some programs with them, get some testimonials. Because when you start transitioning over, where it's part-time or full-time, you've already got a little bit of a list of clientele that can give you a backing. And that's the most important thing. People buy you for what they can see that you've already done, not what you're promising to do. So I think that's a really good thing to close off on. But thank you for watching today, episode 10. This is really important to us. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for the subscribers. Thank you for the likes on social media. We're going to keep going. And again, as always, if you've got something you do want to hear about, instead of us trying to make stuff every week that we think is important, if something's important to you, let us know.
Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe. Whoa.